Right, fly. Yes. Oof. Saw the plane move then. KL W V.
TOS system test. Okay.
Russellville Regional. Seems about right. Tank me up and I'll take your pass along. Well, this is the thing. You know, there's what the law says you can do, and then there's what people do. They're not the same thing. Let's see. KRUE. There are approaches into KRUE. Arnav 07 seems to be the best one. If we can set this up. Take the Arnav. So we'll see if we can figure that out on here. Okay, it's got it. Fine. Can't zoom out anymore, but that should be good now. I suspect if you get caught taking payment, you could use your PPL. Exactly. If you get caught doing it, then yeah, absolutely, you'll lose your PPL. They do work D22, but I've got nowhere to mount them just yet. Right, so let's go. Let's go up to 9,000. Try and get a bit of fuel efficiency going. There's a nuclear power plant west of Crewe in the north side of the lake. That might be cool to see. Well, we'll be coming in. We'll be coming in that way. If that's what you mean. On that route in, will it be on the left or on the right, do you think? I can see what looks like a bridge there. Is that a dam? Where is it in relation to that? They stole London, I know. They've got a few like that. They keep nicking our names. How dare they? Let's double check. We are tracking, yes. Tracking, pressure set. We're going to go into nav mode. We're going to do flight level change at 100 knot climb out. Fuel tanks are on, mixtures forward. Beacon lights coming on.
Happy anniversary.
A Rabid Panda, thank you for 60.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Going to be taking off our runway 18. Possum, what's that a link for? Also, I've now got that mod active that doesn't show you in-op everywhere. which is kind of nice. Interesting airport layout, isn't it just? It's kind of really weird, isn't it? Right, tax lights going on. I hope they sort out the ground crew fairly soon. Oh my god, look at the colour of that CBM, that green one. Holy smoke. Imagine buying a plane like that. That's an outrageous colour. That's not even lime green. It's like a matte neon. It's just horrendous. It's like somebody had an RGB slider and just slid the G and then made it matte as well.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
Do you know this? If you look at this taxiway, it takes you right into the corner of 2 runways. That is so bizarre. That's kind of weird.
Approaching runways 27 and 18.
Right, landing lights are all on. Approach clear, prop forward. Trim set, lights set. AP set up. Correct runway. FAA is requiring all new taxiways meet runways at 90-degree angle. Really? So there's no like 45-degree angle turnoffs anymore? Does that mean they're all going to have to completely redo their taxiways? That's an expensive operation.
Airborne time locked.
Like, how long do they get to do that? Oh, new ones, fair enough. Do a barrel roll. Well, at least you spelled roll correctly, so I'll give you that. Crunch, thank you for subbing. Welcome. So we'll go for an autopilot. Don't pitch me up like that. Don't do that. Stop it. Stop it. That's too much. Nose down, you stupid thing. There we go. Ugh. I always get nervous when it does that. Oh no, they do. Valtiel, they, honestly, the amount of people that say do a barrel roll and they spell it R-O-L-E, you're like, okay. You'd be surprised. Okay, after takeoff checklist are done. Everything's hunky-dory. Put the aircon on now. No. Can I click that button, please? No. There we go. Yeah, exactly. You need to act like a barrel. Slow-mo Martin. Almost 3 years. Fly me to the moon. Not in this caravan. I'm just going to increase the climb out speed so it pitches down a little bit. I don't trust it. Give it a bit more power as well. I don't want it stalling. What do you take off from? We just left KLWV, which is Lawrence Vicenne International, and we're heading down. Well, we're actually going to go into Crewe, K-R-U-E, which is Russellville Regional, before taking a very short hop to here. Literally that runway there, Petit Jean, that's where we want to be, but we had a job to here to pay. But we actually want to go to there to Petit Jean to get some more stuff and fly back. But we're doing the RNAV approach, which apparently goes over some kind of nuclear power station, I'm not sure. Beautiful Russellville. Have you been there? You been there, Ty? Is there a power station? No, you don't get your in-flight meals until we're back on the ground at the airfield. This thing's got a really high angle of climb, isn't it? You feel like you're like this. How you doing, Ty? Was it over there 10 AM? Petit Jean's pronounced jeans. Well, of course it is, because you're American. But it's French. Petit Jean. But Petite Jean if you want. It's fine. Actually, the French would say it as Petit Jean. That's how they would say it. Today is wine making day. The grapes have showed up. They'll be in my... Oh my god. Dude, can you post pictures? I really want to see pictures of that. I would like a picture of you stood in a box of grapes just crushing them. With your big hairy feet. No, I don't want that detail. I just want some pics. It looks fun. I'd love to do that. You got a stainless steel monster to do all the work. Oh, you're cheating! You're just going to push a button and let it happen. Your father-in-law worked there for 6 years as an electrician. You live in Arkansas. There's a power plant on the north side of the lake. Cool. I'll try and find it then. We're on track anyway, 6,000 climbing. It's good. 2 hours of cleaning, 20 minutes of crushing, 2 more hours of cleaning. That sounds great. I think there are weirder fetishes than that, Bruce. Much weirder. I can't work out right. If there's 4 seats on that side, and there's 4 seats on that side, that's 8. And then there's one here, there's 9. In honor, how is this a 14-seat aircraft? I can't quite get my head around that bit. What iPad do you have and how does it fit in the cockpit? I need to get one for ATP Flight School. This is a... It's not an iPad mini. It's not a Pro. It's just a normal... Are they 11-inch iPads? I think it's an 11-inch. I mean, it's about 18 months old. I don't know where it shows the... It's not on air. No, I don't... Actually, I don't know, actually. Does it tell you in settings, maybe? It might tell me in about... iPad 6th generation, it says. It says iPad 6th generation. That's all I can tell you. Where does the map come from? It comes from an app called 4Flight, which is a paid app. But very, very useful app. Especially if you're flying around the States. A 9.7 inch. Are you sure about that? Hang on. Let me get my tape measure. You're about to fly through the airspace you work in real life. Nice. As a controller or something else? Do we measure from... Okay, it's 11 inches from corner to corner. Not the screen, just corner to corner. So I assume that's an iPad 11 inch, like I said. If you're measuring the screen's about 9.5 diagonally. It's a 6th generation, so it's about 18 months old. It's not the new one. Work as a controller, nice. Passengers point to the cargo bay. Lol. Right, let's just monitor this for a second. Coming up on 9,000. We should really be doing a bit quicker than this. That's the speed brake turned off and on, so it's definitely not on. Actually, I think there might have been a headwind. I think 4Flight reported a headwind. Although it's not a particularly strong headwind. Like 4 knots. Normally cruises around 100 and... Interesting airport. Normally cruises around 160, I think. .6 miles to knob, apparently. You love the review of a Kinga. Yeah, the Kinga's in the pack now. They've been done by Sir Blackie. He did this one as well. He's done the Kinga. I want him to do the TBM. I think he's going to do TBM next, hopefully. No, it's not speed brake. I just tested that. Yeah, he did a decent job on it, Ty. Quite like his. We've got the chrome finish here. We've got the chrome name there. We've got the chrome along here. And then there's a chrome leading edge as well. You can see that. So it all ties in nicely. I think it's what I wanted, you know. It's not like... It's nice, but it's not busy. It's just clean. And it means you can style the other aircraft like that as well. So they kind of fit into the whole company thing. Have you tried on her yet, Ty? That's what it thinks. There's crew. I like how in on air though you can zoom in and see the roads that you're flying over. That's kind of cool. I can get you I'll get you a code if you want, Ty. If you want to try it, just let me know. You have 7 days free, but I'll get you a code. If you do if you do yeah, just send me a DM so it reminds me. If you do play it, might I suggest that you do what I did and go straight into Thunderworld, because there's three different servers, right? There's the Stratus, the Cumulus, and the Thunder. Thunder is the one where there's no AI allowed, and you only start with a few $1,000s and a 30% rep. So everything in Thunderworld is as difficult as it can be. You can't have AI flying around for you. Your character, you have to physically reposition him in order to make a flight. Things like that. You know, if you run out of fuel, you've got to sort it out somehow. You can't just have an AI fly over and drop some jerry cans off. So, you know, I didn't go through any tutorials. I basically got the stream to help out, and there's lots of people who can do that. So when you stream it, if you go straight into Thunder, you'll get a lot of help. But it's more challenging. It's more fun though. But you can, if you want to, of course, you can, if you go to World and then Social, Virtual Airlines, if you sort that list there, you'll see Air Squirrel is here. And you can join up and I'll just promote you to manager. It's pretty much replaced FS feed. No, it's not replaced anything yet. The jury is very much out on this. Just be careful though, because it is a lot more focused on tracking what you do, right? So if you take off and don't turn your landing lights off at the right time, it'll penalise you for doing that. If you taxi too quickly, it'll penalise you for doing that. You know, if you stall the plane, you'll lose reputation. If you scare the passengers, you'll lose reputation. So you have to fly the plane a bit. Whereas FSE just doesn't care. It just goes, oh yeah, you're here. Now you're here. That's fine. This tracks it a lot more. It tracks how you fly. And you have to do check rides in order to fly bigger aircraft. So you start off with like a single engine piston rating. But to fly the Caravan, you need to do a check ride in the turboprop land-based. And once you do the check ride, you get a license for a year to fly it, and then you have to do another check ride. But the check ride's basically like take off, climb to a certain altitude, do a 360 turn level, descend, climb a bit more, go back to the airport. It's, you know, it's like an hour. It is more immersive. They are building it out quite a bit. It's not without its problems. You know, it's got some bugs and things and annoyances, but it's being polished. However, it does have the advantage that you can buy FBOs, and it doesn't matter how, you know, who got there first, because you just compete with each other. So if you go to FBOs, I'm sure we can find one. Maybe there's one at Crew, I don't know. Actually, let's go to airports. That's Crew. There is a regional FBO, which I think that's a default system one, I believe. So if we try and find, I don't know, somebody's bound to be at LA, right? There you go. So at LAX, you can see there's a whole bunch of people here. And when you set up the FBO, you have to then, and I haven't really got into this, but you have to spend money to get like a license to sell fuel. and then you've got to bring the fuel in, and then you need a license to sell repairs and stuff like that. So it's a lot more complicated in how it does things in terms of FBOs. But if you was to go here and, you know, I can still create an FBO. If you was to go here and look for fuel, you can pretty much pick the cheapest, and then you sort of buy fuel in at a certain rate and then sell it at whatever price you want. But I don't know. Give it a whirl. See what you think. I'm still figuring it all out. But the whole VA side of it, I've not even played around with that yet. That's what we're going to do after I've done this. I'm going to do this job to get some money for me, because you need 100 grand to create a virtual airline, so I had to grind, get 100 grand, set up the virtual airline, and now I'm broke. And as I found out this week, I've got this caravan on hire, and I left it in an airfield and didn't play the game for 3 days. Every day it billed me $280 for parking fees on the plane. I was like, what? So now I've got hardly any money, so I'm just grinding some money back, and then I'll switch back to the VA and see how that all works. It's a base of operations, Ferret. An FBO is a base of operations, so that it's where you can buy and sell fuel, and it's where you can get repairs done and annual checks and things like that to your aircraft. So if you land at an airfield that doesn't have an FBO, you won't be able to buy fuel. So if you land there with hardly any fuel left, you're not going to be able to buy more fuel. So that's what you need an FBO for. But you can create your own FBOs, and then you can sell to other players. So when players land at that airfield and they need fuel, they're going to be buying your fuel, and you've bought it in at like a wholesale price, and you're now selling it at a profit. So you make some money that way. Additionally, if they need any repairs doing to the aircraft, or want to add some more equipment or whatever, you can make a margin on top of that. Danny Boy, thank you for 5 years. Happy anniversary, sir. Thank you for the support. Neutronex, thank you for 14. In the non-Thunder worlds, you can kind of play it more like a management sim. So you can hire pilots, AI pilots, to fly around for you. There's a whole world of employees that you can hire. Apparently, hang on, I need to go to my VA. Because it has a skill tree as well. So when you're playing personally, you need a skill tree. When you do a VA, you don't. But you can see here that you can basically hire different people to do different jobs. So if you fly a plane, I think it's with more than 13 passengers on board. I think it's 13. You must hire crew to be on board to look after them. In other words, serve them in-flight drinks and things like that. So there's that kind of stuff going on. But yeah, ultimately you can move up and start renting the bigger stuff. You can rent, it does have the airlines in it, so you can rent airlines. You can hire a 747 and fly a load of people for like $30 million or something. So I don't know, I need to see how well it scales, because I really don't know. But yeah, you can hire these flight attendants. Obviously you'd pick the cheap, you just do a Ryanair on it, just pick the cheapest one. Korea, Insincere, thank you for the bits. No, well, the caravan you won't know. That's why I said more than 13. But it, you know, it distinguishes between the VA and you as a company, and where you are in the world dictates what you can do. So, like in FS Economy, you don't have a character in the world, so you can just pick an airport, rent a plane, and fly, and then the next flight you could go around the other side of the world and do the same thing. In this, you have an actual character that represents you, and you can only fly where you are, right? So if I want to fly a plane out of LAX, I have to transport myself to LAX. So I either have to fly myself there or use the in-game taxi service, but it takes a real amount of time to get there. So to transport my character to LAX could take hours. And that's one of the big differences between it and FS Economy. Have you lost tracking? I hope not. Let's have a look. It looks like it's moving. This isn't moving because I'm not on the live operations map, I don't think. Actually, I don't know. I don't know anymore. Resume the current flight. What the heck? Unpause the sim to get accurate values. 8.4 from start position. Why? Hang on, let me live pause this. If I live pause that. So it lost me back here somewhere for some reason. So if I slew myself backwards. Is it slewing? You think on air can slew for you? How? How do I reposition this? The aircraft will stay in slew mode after moving. Be sure to exit slew mode when the scenery is fully loaded. Oh yeah, it could be because I'm in live pause. 1 second. Oh god. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hang on, slew mode. I need to get this plane back to about there, don't I? I don't know why it just disconnected. That's pretty close, isn't it? I don't know where it thinks I am now. So if I unslew that now...
Your flight is resumed in on air.
There you go. Engage autopilot. No, 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 no. Turn it off. I hate it when it does this. I hate the way it seeks things out. It just does a terrible job of it. Press the black box and on out. Why did that happen though? That's the question. Is that because I went into my VA and back out again? Did that disconnect it? I think that's what happened, you know. Also, that's not really following the nav line right now. It happens when you go into VA mode. That's stupid. That's actually stupid. For some reason as well, it seems to be trying to track a different line. Oh, I've gone 8 knot crosswind. Anyway, so it seems like going into VA mode in on air while you're actually in a live flight is a very bad idea. So lesson was learned then. I didn't spot it. Somebody else spotted it in chat. They said, is that still tracking? I wouldn't have noticed. I just got really far down here and then just raged. Yeah, it should warn you. It definitely should have said that. It should have popped up with an error. Like if I switch to VA mode, it should say, warning, you're tracking a flight. If you go to VA mode, you'll disconnect the flight. Do you want to continue? You should never just silently disconnect. I mean, I don't mind so much that they can't make it track when you're in VA mode, but at least tell me that you're going to do that. Yeah, but I've got the on-air window underneath, that's the problem. I've got it underneath what I'm doing here. Anyway, so don't do that. I think they said the next update they'll fix this, being able to track in VA mode. Fair enough. Well, I've only got a second screen, and that's what I'm reading chat on, Floating Fat Man. I've got chat up there, and like sub-events up there, and then OBS up there. I've got nowhere else to put it. It might be useful if they could, in the sim, just leave a little, like a green box or something. Just something that shows you that it's connected still and tracking. Time to invest in a third monitor. Or just do what Quirk did. You see what Quirk was doing this week? So Quirk's got an ultra-wide like I do, but I think he's got the Samsung one. And he took... I don't know. Honestly, I can't explain his actions. I can just tell you roughly what happened. He put his triple monitors back on his desk, and then he took his ultra-wide off his rig because he said that it was ghosting, right? That the image was ghosting. He said when he's racing, he can see like a ghost pattern or a shadow pattern or something, which sounds like his monitor's a bit broken, right? You don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, of course you don't. So he said his monitor's ghosting. So I think he had this idea of buying another one from Amazon and then sending his old one back and saying it was faulty, I think. But in between time, he took his he streamed this, he took his monitor off, and then he was going to mount his triples onto his rig and then put his ultra-wide on his desk. But somewhere along the line, halfway through, I think, I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't know if you did, Balkan, I didn't watch the whole thing. But somewhere along the line, he decided he didn't like having the triples or something because he didn't like having a bezel again. Like he realized that he didn't like the bezel. So I think he's gone back to the ultra-wide. I don't know. It's all very bizarre. Guy's just having first world problems. He's got an ultra-wide in triples and he's complaining. That's what I see. Duke of Loot, welcome back. Does Honor automatically load weight and fuel in the sim, or do you have to set it yourself? Nerdy Drew, when Honor connects to your sim for the flight, when it starts tracking the flight, it sets the fuel and cargo in the plane. However, I think at the moment it's not setting the cargo properly, so it doesn't apply the weight of the cargo, but it does apply the fuel. You're not going to believe he ordered a third G9. I don't know if you remember this or not, but 6 months ago, Quirk was saying that he might have to sell all of his racing rig and equipment and monitors because he needed to get some dental work done and he doesn't like borrowing money. So he was going to sell all of his stuff and get the dental work done. Now it feels like he just wants to spend money on stuff. And he just wants to buy more toys. I think that's what I'm seeing here. I'm surprised Debbie hasn't kicked him out of the house, to be honest. Good evening, Helipilot. So he's ordered a third G9. Okay. I heard that Danador had managed to bag himself 2 380 graphics cards? Which I couldn't believe. Most people were struggling to even get one at launch, and he bagged 2 of them. But now it's transpiring that there's problems with these cards. There's problems with some of them anyway. I don't know what he got. He got 2 3090s. Oh, he got a 3090 as well. How many cards does he need? There seems to be some reliability problems with them now. I don't know if he got a good one or not. Well, any of the, he'll sell one of them. Oh, is he going to do one of those? He's going to do the scumbag thing. He's going to do the scumbag thing, isn't he? Where he buys 2 and sells 1 at double the price. Oh, you don't think he's not? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I know the reference ones, the Nvidia ones are fine, but some of the third-party ones are a bit unreliable apparently. Dan Suzuki. He's going to keep the 3090. What Class D airport is it to the south? That is Veterans of Southern Illinois, MWA. Oh, sorry, that's Kansas City, it says. Actually, I don't... Wait, why does it say that? It says Kansas City, though. But then it says Veterans of Southern Illinois. I don't know. He got the 3090 Asus and two 3080 MSIs. Jeez, man. Dude's got some money. You can tell he's not married. Did he just write a bot to do that? How the heck? Like, nobody else managed to do that. That's unbelievable. Like, he uses, like, Sony Alpha cameras, you know, direct drive, racing wheel. I don't know, he's splashed a lot of money. He said the stock in Germany was fine for a few hours. That's interesting. Because everywhere else was just... It was like gold dust. Like, they put them on sale and they were just gone. I mean, thankfully I didn't try and get one, but... Yikes. Let's have a quick look at the plate for this thing. We've taken the RNAV 07, I believe. Going to come in from Arui. So we have to be above 3.5k at PABP, which is here. The initial fix right there. And we're coming in from the northeast. So we have to be probably about 4k at Arui, that should do it. 3.5k at PABP. Final approach fix is NACB, 2800 or above. What's the elevation of this field? 404. That's amazing. Airport elevation not found. It's actually got some sector minimums here as well. So 30 nautical from Arui, you have to be at least 3,900 feet. So I think what I'll do is I'll come down to 4,000 for Arui, and then we'll be 3.5 at PABP. I think that should do it. So 4k will be the initial descent. So we'll descend at about 20 nautical out of Arui. Does anyone need 4K? Ask Whiteland. Whiteland's had 4K for ages. Won't live without it. Who subbed? Mr. Gargle TK. Thank you very much for subbing. Welcome. Wakataku, thank you, 44. You don't get the rush to pre-order a console. There's barely any day one exclusives. I think it's more about bragging rights. It's the fact that you've got one. And also, there's always going to be people who buy them with the anticipation of selling them on eBay at Christmas. Like hoping there'll be a stock shortage and they can make a quick buck, right? GPU issues will be fixable with a VBIOS update. How big's your monitor, Rome? I thought the electrical crosstalk was caused by... Oh god. Don't do that. I just managed to pick up the controller and it, by default, it moves the controls. Don't do that. I thought the problems were a bit more fundamental to that, like due to the electrical crosstalk and that kind of thing. You bought a 4K screen for a flight sim and you can't go back now. I don't know, like, a lot of it depends on how big the screen is and how far away you're sitting. Like, just pixels alone only tells one side of the story. It's actually more about pixel density. Because your eye can only see so many kind of size of pixels. I think that's why Apple called it the Retina screen. Because when they got to the pixel density where your eye can't see the dots anymore, they called it a Retina screen. So as you make the screen bigger, the pixels per inch reduces down, so you need more pixels to increase the density. So if you've got like a small 4K screen and you're sat half a meter away, well, if you replace that with a 1440, I doubt you'd see the pixels. Whereas if you have a massive screen, then yeah, get more pixels. But then you also have to bear in mind you're going to need a graphics card that can cope with it, right? Because something has to draw a lot of pixels. Well, yeah, that's what I said, Captain Flynn. Like, how big the monitor is and how far away you are, that's what I said. .5K display is crazy crispy. Yeah, it's a diminishing return thing. Like, nobody's going to need 8K to sit at the desk and you know, play a game. 8K. Like, honestly, you're not going to notice that. You wouldn't mind a super ultra wide like a Samsung G9, but it's too wide. Yeah, so you see, Balkan, I reckon he's ordered a G9 so he can swap his old one. I know what trick he's pulling. No, I'm not even joking, because he's doing the same thing that I did with my rice cooker. I ordered a 20 quid, honestly, I ordered a 20 quid, no, nobody knows what he's really doing. I bought a 20 quid rice cooker from Amazon 2.5 months ago, right? And it stopped working. Mrs. Squirrel's like, it's not working. So I had a look at it, and sure enough, it's not working. So I went onto Amazon, and I went to click return, because it was faulty, and Amazon doesn't let you return it anymore. It says, you're out of your 30-day return window, you can't return it. I'm like, well, I've got a 12-month guarantee, surely. Nope, you can't return it. So I went, alright, Amazon. I ordered another one, so I got this other 20 quid rice cooker. I took it out the box, and I put my old one inside, and then I went back to my Amazon order, and I said, I want a refund. And they went, okay. Sent it back, and they gave me a refund. And I've got a new rice cooker. Let's do it that way. Because they make it difficult. They make it really difficult to return an item more than 30 days, right? They make it so hard. Like, all I wanted to do was say, this is not working. I'm still in 12-month warranty period. Just give me another one. But they don't let you. Sometimes they tell you to keep the thing. They actually do. Like, a 20 quid rice cooker was probably made in China for like £1.50. And they just go, oh, just keep it. You've returned so much stuff to Amazon, you just returned a GoPro 9. I just got a GoPro Hero 7 with 2 extra batteries and an extra charger for 180 quid off eBay. I was looking through eBay trying to find another, because I wanted another GoPro camera for my IRL flying. And I was looking through eBay, and I came across this. I was scrolling through the list, and I noticed one of these GoPros was 180 quid. It had no offers on it, and it was expiring in 14 minutes. I was like, nah. So I had a look at it, looked at the photos, have a look at the seller rating. There's nothing wrong with this. Expires in 12 minutes. Okay, I'll stick a bid in and see what happens. Stuck a bid in and it won. 10 minutes later, I bagged a Hero. I mean, they're still going for like 250 plus the batteries. You're knocking 300 quid. I was well chuffed. Actually, I might go and get. I need a buy brake anyway. I'm going to go for a buy brake. I'm going to come back with the camera case and the clamp that I'm going to use. Ty's already seen this, but most of you have not. So I'll show you that. Back in a sec. eBay is still really popular. Right. It's a bit bouncy. It's very bouncy. So if I show you on this, it probably helps. So this is one of the GoPros that, well, this is actually the GoPro that I ordered. So I ordered these. It's got a safety catch on it. So I ordered these GoPro cases, and these are actually, there's different back door you can get on this. This one's got a gap in it so that it's not completely waterproof, but it does give you like really good protection for the camera, and it actually has a latch on top here to stop the thing from just opening up, because this is going to go on the wing basically. Is the autopilot still running? I believe so. Yeah. GPS autopilot. It's fine. So this is something that I got from the States, which is it's basically a clamp for the GoPro. And what actually happens is, you know the tie down loops on the underside of a wing? You basically unscrew this and then you put it through the tie down clamp, screw this back up and then clamp it in, and it has a safety pin on the end to stop it falling off. So that whole thing then hangs on the underside of the wing to give you external filming capabilities. And because these cameras, these GoPros, you can turn them on and off remotely. So you can actually get in the cockpit and they're like listening on Bluetooth, and then you can turn them on from within the cockpit and tell it to start recording. So you can save battery life that way. If you're in cruise, you can basically turn it off. So then this GoPro goes inside, and I don't know if you know or not, but GoPros actually have a little lens on them. It's like well, it's actually more like a lens cover. Let me show you. So normally, just stick my arm around here. Normally you have this thing sits on top like that, and they actually twist off so that it reveals the actual lens itself, and that's what you need to do to fit it inside this case. So that then goes in there. This then clamps, but it has, like I say, it has that safety catch on top there, so you actually have to press that across before this catch will release. So that's got a safety catch on it. This has a safety pin on it, so the whole thing is designed so that, you know, even if something goes wrong, the camera won't fall off the plane in any way. So it's designed with safety in mind. And then I bought this thing, which is the official GoPro mic in. So that's a USB-C, and then on the bottom it has a USB-C and a mic input, right? So the idea is you basically plug this into the side of the GoPro, well, on the internal camera, not on that, on this external camera. You plug it internally and then you use this cable So this cable is the comms cable, which goes in the plane. You plug that into the headset. That then has a pass-through. So you plug the headset in there. And then this mic goes into the bottom of this thing. That plugs into the GoPro. And then the GoPro basically records all of the comms on the in the plane. So all the ATC, all the torque, all that kind of stuff. But it also has a USB pass-through. So if you plug USB power into here, it will transmit the USB power through that. So that charges the GoPro at the same time as gets the GoPro to record the audio. And considering I put 128 gig memory stick in there, that basically means that camera can run for a very, very long time. So this is untested. This is all completely untested. If I go flying this week, this will be getting a test. And if it works, I'll have a video. And if it doesn't, I'll be scratching my head going, why didn't that work? So that's the kit I bought. But I bought a brand new, well, a second-hand Hero 5, because what I want to have is, I don't know if they have any wing tie-down hooks on these. So on the Cessna 172, there's a tie-down hook around about here that just like a loop, and you put the rope through it to tie the wing down when you tie the plane down. So basically I'll have one camera here and then an identical one on the other wing. And so I'll probably have like one pointing something like that as a vantage point. And then I don't know whether I want to have the other camera point the same way, like so it would be like that, or whether to have the other camera like point more like this. Like, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think it's better to have one pointing a bit more forward and one pointing in, or have both pointing forward? I just don't know. Until I try it out, I'm not sure. On the one hand, 2 points of view for different variations seems like a good idea. On the other hand, you might miss something with the wrong angle. One forward at the wheels, or stick one on the tail. I always remember when we put one on the tail of your Cessna 172 tie, I remember all the sludge that got on the lens. And so if you fly for like 50 minutes, by the time you come in to get your landing, all the footage is all blurry because of that engine oil that's on it. It's not fun. Put them on gimbals. You see, if you put the camera, there's another tie-down hook back here, but if you put the camera here, you get all the exhaust fumes, and it kind of builds up an oily film on the GoPro. And so when you come into landing, it kind of looks like you're looking through steamy lenses. It's a bit weird. Do you still have a 180 camera? I do still have a 180 camera. I was thinking about using that 180 camera. Actually, no, the 360 camera. I have the who makes them? I have a 360 camera. So I was also thinking about putting a 360 camera in the plane. Like if I can attach one up here somewhere, if I can stick a 360 camera here. The advantage of the 360 camera is that you can decide later what orientation to go for. So you can spin the footage later because it sees everything. So later on you can translate it back into a 2D view, but you can have it look where you want it to look. It's kind of cool. Applestone, how you doing, sir? Thank you for 63 months. I hope you're well. Getting ready for winter. Turtle Glow, thank you for 25. Welcome back. Insta 360, that's the one. So I have an Insta 360 that I don't really use, and I could use that. I might give that a spin as well. I fly a Cessna 172 currently, but kind of hoping that at some point I can get a share in something else. How often? Not a great deal over the corona period, to be honest. I flew in February, and then I flew 2 weeks ago, and then I flew after that, then I flew after that, so yeah. And then I should have flown this week, but I got weathered out. I'll be flying next week, hopefully. The Arrow and the SR20. Yeah, dude. Do you know how much an SR20 is? There's an SR20 in Cambridge Airport right now. And Cambridge Airport is about 1 hour, 10-minute drive for me. So it's like a little bit just beyond what I'm willing to drive to go to a plane. It's an SR20. You can have a 1/5 share in it. It's a G3 model, all the avionics. It's a 30,000 £30,000 buy-in, which makes me go. And then it's £300 a month to cover all the fees, and then 150 an hour wet. So that means if you fly that plane For 2 hours a month, it will cost you £600 a month. I'm like, nah. It's totally worth it, dude. That's too rich for my blood. It costs you $300 an hour to fly. I've seen other aircraft. I've seen there was a Mooney for sale for a share, I think, but it had gone when I inquired about it, and it had a much lower monthly fee. But it had all the trimmings. It had all the Garmins, all the autopilot. Did 150 knots. You know, could carry 4 people and luggage to the south of France. Like, it was that kind of plane. I think it was a 250 or a 300 brake horsepower engine. Like, it, you know, serious stuff. If money was no issue, what would you fly? If money was no issue? Holy smoke. I think I'd love a TBM. I think a TBM, like, totally inappropriate for what I want, but if you're saying money's no issue, I'd have a TBM, I think. Kamikaze Pug, thank you for 31 months. Good morning to you. How's the guy who got stuck in Jersey? He was there for 6 days. He's now back home, but his aircraft needs to be fixed. That could take weeks. Can I explain how the nav works in the 152? The nav works? What do you mean? Do you have any vehicle in real life painted with the Squirrel livery? No. Yeah, I looked at a Piper Warrior. So there was actually a Piper, not a Warrior, not the 28, the 32, the PA 32, I think it was. There was actually one of them at, it was either Stapleford or Duxford. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. And I inquired, gone. It looks like you have to be quick. I think what happened is everything came out of lockdown and people just bought stuff really quickly. So if you go to UKGA, look at the classified ads, then go to group shows, right? So the first problem I have is the location, right? So straight away I'm like, sounds great, nowhere near me. Sounds great, nowhere near me. And this happens a lot. Thruxton, Old Warden, Wickham Park, you know, PA 28 181, perfect. Look, £150 a month, 100 hour wet. Brilliant. Perfect. Completely in the wrong place. Red Hill, Diamond DA 40, £180 a month, 150 wet. Great, nowhere near me. Look, Bruce Lee. Does anybody want to fly with Bruce Lee? Because Bruce Lee is looking for a flying buddy. You want somebody to fly with, he'll share all the costs. He doesn't care about location, so if you're in Australia, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where he'll drive anywhere, he says. He's a CPL MEP IR instructor. He's been flying for 37 years, has a vast amount of experience. He can fly weekdays and weekends. He's happy to fly any type of aircraft, including twins and helicopters. Just give Bruce Lee a call, even though his name's actually Steve. Let's not ask any questions here. But, you know, he's available. What? Yeah, Steve, but my real name's Bruce Lee. Here you go. So this is an M20 in Cambridge, right? Where's the picture gone? So this has got all the Garmin stuff, all the Garmin shenanigans. Full autopilot system here, as you can see. So, I mean, equipment-wise, this is brilliant. This is great. The problem is, right, the group's just spent 50 grand, so they don't actually say how much. You have to contact Steve again. Steve gets around. You have to contact Steve. But this is a group that just spent 50 grand up in the avionics on this thing to GTN 750s, a 430, a GFC 500 autopilot, and 2 G5s. Like, this is seriously kitted out. It's hangared. How much does that cost? I wouldn't like to think. They even put in David Clarkson headsets, life jackets, and a PLB, and a dinghy in the back of this thing. It's just nuts. G. Porgy, thank you very much for subbing, sir. Welcome to the Net House. But yeah, I mean, something like that would be amazing, but what's the cost? I don't know. See if I can find this Cirrus. Yeah, Old Buckingham, nowhere near me. Looking for group in Elstree or Denham. Elstree's not a million miles away. PA32 Saratoga based in Biggin Hill. Biggin Hill's no good for me. 350 quid a month? Dude, that's expensive. A Cessna 172, right? They're selling a 110 share for £4,700. Basic cost £130 a month to include hangarage and insurance, and the flying cost is £85 an hour wet. So this is cheap flying right here. 85 an hour wet is cheap. You got more Freddos? Huh? I've one now. It's basically a really expensive gym membership.